Yeah, but
I did, bro. With Jawaka.
Okay, so Reekado Banks.
Yes, sir.
Ozumba Mbadiwe Nigerian.
Yeah.
Where's Reekado Banks song?
Well, Reekado Banks is it's in a good place right now, and it's so important. It's so amazing to see. It's so heartwarming to see, because the number one thing with Reekado Banks is that it took a while to get here. So Reekado Banks was this guy that was one of Nigeria's hottest artists that won Next Rated at controversially won Next Rated at the Headies on January 1, 2016, if I'm not wrong, and. It released a couple hits more, had one with Tiwa Savage, but then it left Maven and things started getting shaky a little bit. But what happened was, for whatever reason, Rora became one of the biggest songs, slowly, one of the biggest songs of 2019, if I'm not wrong. Like, the song never really ascended maybe to become maybe number one at any point, probably top 3 at some point. But over the course of that year, even until like Q1 2020, it was still quite huge. That was a really huge song. So, but after that, he kept dropping bangers. But for whatever reason, people just didn't care. Like, for example, Options, the record with Pakai Gile, fantastic record. Need More, the record with Kid Akuz, fantastic record. But the record didn't work. Given this, he has dropped like 3 fantastic records, but people just don't care. So it's incredible that Ozumba Mbadiwe was working. And then he started fighting a perception battle. Like last year, especially in the public eye. The number one, the Burna Boy drama, the famous one. When Burna Boy said he wanted to do a hits battle, whatever the hits battle is. If I'm not wrong, that should have been October 21 or October 22, 2020. And Burna said he wanted to do a hits battle. Reekado said, let's go. He said, Burna Boy challenged anybody. Reekado said, let's go. Burna Boy said, I got love for you, bro. But I said, a worthy contender. That sort of hits or hurts a little bit, but and then the whiskey drama, which was kind of problematic. Basically, Wizzy, he wanted to release a song that Whiskey didn't assent to. Whiskey had already postponed Made in Lagos, the release of Made in Lagos by 2 weeks, if I'm not wrong. So Reekado wanted to release a song, and Whiskey publicly chastised him. For whatever reason, I thought it was unnecessary for Whiskey. I still maintain that it was really unnecessary. He could have done that in the DM. Personally, I even think it also did it for perception to score some cool points. But for whatever reason, it happened, and it hurt Reekado's reputation. And when the record dropped, it didn't catch fire. It sounded stale, sounded old, it wasn't a really good record. And then he dropped his EP, which was not good. It was not good at all. So to see where he is right now, with Ozumba Mbadiwe being a record, as much as there's definitely marketing and a budget behind this record that they're pushing it, you can see that people are naturally catching on to the record. So the idea of promo for a record is a record that if you promote a record, if the record sustains itself after with the promotion or is catching fire, is having a life of its own outside of the promotion, that is a good record. But if it's only the promo that is carrying the record, you know that when the promo stops, the record is going to stop. So with this Ozumba Mbadiwe, it's amazing. Reekado is in a really good place right now. It's amazing to see.
What makes Reekado Banks special?
Man, shout out to AQ. AQ, the rapper, has always said something. He says there might be more people. There are people that are visibly that you might pick to be better talents than Reekado Banks. But he says that in terms of the ability to go, to be unpredictable and be able to do anything at any time and be consistent at creating quality outputs, especially with singles. He says Reekado Banks is one of his favorites. And he says Reekado Banks and techno, but he says Reekado Banks because Reekado Banks is adaptable to any style. Like, look at the records that Reekado Banks has dropped in the last 2 years. None is similar. Like, you have Rora, you have what he did with Skibby on Sensima. Why you did Burna? You remember what he did on that record? Bro! Baby Shamanama make a joke. Yeah, bro! He didn't make any sense. But you feel like, if you like, no feel like. So, bro, then he did another madness on the record with Tenny and Fowles. That's Allstars do. And then his record, the R&B record with Pakai Gile, and then the record with Need More. Those are different types of records, and they're all fantastic records. And then this year he's been doing some Afro House, some Amapiano stuff. Ozumba Mbadiwe is Amapiano. You can see the range. Look at what he did on Ozumba Mbadiwe. Look at the verse. Bro, Like he was doing something else on verse 1, by verse 2, it switched up on you. Like that's what he is. He's special. He's just a special artist.
Okay, so you said it earlier that I left
Yeah.
People should have left.
Number one, a lot of people, I've been seeing a lot of people say that he probably shouldn't have left. A lot of people will say that if a record like Rora had dropped on Mivin, could have been an international smash hit. But here's what I think. I don't agree that people should leave labels every time. I think people should have like a succession plan as well. I think what people look at when they leave labels, you can't blame artists in the sense that they look at the money part, the monetary part, the revenue that they're generating or they're able to generate for the label, and the money that they're giving up for the label. But what they forget to look at is they don't look at the machinery of the label itself. What makes the label work? What brings that money in? That's what a lot of people discover when they go solo and go independent. They see that, man, a machinery wasn't there for this to work. I think a lot of Nigerians, if they think about it properly, they will be creating imprints on that certain labels. And I think that could work because you have a chance to make more money, and the label structure could still benefit you. You can see what is happening with Mavin. Like there is Baby Fresh has Crayon under the label. The Prince and Rema. It was an imprinting at the start, even though Ruga is not a part of Mavin. It's only the Prince's label. It's only Johnson. So in a way, when you look at it, you probably will say no. To be fair, you probably say no. But if this is his second hit since he left the label, it's not doing badly. He's not doing badly. But you could just look at with the talent and where Mavin is right now, that could have been something special. But here's the thing right now with Reekado. Chances are he's probably going to get a major label to sign him very soon. So it could still be a winner at the end of the day. So you never know.
So you said Reekado makes it. Why did you appreciate it?
Like I said the other time, it's special. It's just special.
So it's Ozumba.
So a lot of people have been, since this record dropped, people have been making references to the record. And a lot of people are saying that because of the video, it's probably not a diss to Burna Boy. But what I'm going to say is this. It's probably not a diss. It's a sub. And it's filled with a lot of double entendres. In the sense that Reekado made that record. He was smart with making that record. He was very smart with it. Let's read the lyrics for everybody so that they can understand what we're talking about. Don't make me move that way. Me, I don't want sleep for highway. Before you cross, you guys look sideways. Me, I know come Lagos for child's play. So I hear them say they define me. For the long time I've been silent. I dey run them, I be like Sterling. But they think say I'm in hiding because they don't know how to find me. I'm on the Ozumba Mbadiwe blah blah blah, and then they went to coming to you. Well, if you think so, you be giant for your pockets. If you only fight for your pockets. October 2020, something happened with the government. They think say we don't go forget, but for a year for Ozumba Mbadiwe. Now, two things can be true. Especially in a case like this, two things can be true. Because look at it this way. I know they move that way. Don't make me move that way. Me, I don't want to sleep for highway. It could relate. It could relate to the reawakening of Nigeria's protest culture that was basically non-existent before the EndSARS protests, right? You could say that it was referring to the part where the government didn't expect Nigerians to do that. They were looking for the youth, and then they found us on Ozumba Mbadiwe. It could be that, but it could also be, remember what happened last year? Let me read the tweet to you. Burna Boy tweeted that, I don't really know what a hit battle is, but I'm willing to go toe-to-toe with any in capital, worthy challenger, lyrically, musically, physically, however they want it. Reekado replies, at Burna Boy, I'm game that energy, let's get it. Burna Boy replies, 3 laughing emojis. You know I got much love for you, bro, but didn't you see when I said, worthy challenger? Question mark. Reekado, exclamation marks. When I was looking for something. You have to understand how anybody who is listening to this record could also interpret it as a sub. And then the most important part is, well, if it is a you be jam for your pockets. That is the biggest one. People now, Reekado might not have intended to diss Burna Boy, but he definitely knew that people were going to make those references. People were going to underline those references or hold on to them. He definitely knew that. Like before he dropped this record, he's not stupid. He knew it. So even if he didn't intend to do it, he knows it's going to be a reason why this record is going to be big. He knows. He knows. He's not stupid. Remember how the Fem line made Fem an incredible record, even though it was Davido's comeback record and it was going to be big anyway. Remember what that line that was big on it? Tell Odogu say we like to party. Did Davido ever confirm that it was this in Burna Boy? No, he never did. Even on the Ebuka interview, he never did. But do we know that he was talking about Burna Boy? Yes, we did. So does Reekado have to come back and tell us that it was this in Burna Boy? No, he doesn't have to. But do we know that there are certain references and double entendres in here? Yes, we do. And even if Reekado wasn't outrightly doing that, because this is open to interpretation, let's not get it wrong. It's very open to interpretation. But in the lyrics of this song, there are two things. There's activism, as regards the October 2020 anniversary. Number two, there's also the part where he's throwing subs as somebody that he wanted to reply a while ago. Somebody that did something to him last year. Make no mistake, it was around the time last year that his drama with Burna Boy happened. Do you guys remember that? It was around that time last year. So guys, what are we saying?
So looking at this from
yeah.
Was Burna Boy wrong?
For what he did?
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably not. I think it was just one of those situations that there is no good way to do it, there's no bad way to do it. Number one, what should Burna Boy have done in that situation? He tweeted something outrightly. It was around the time that Versus battles were blowing up, right? And he tweeted something. Reekado replied, and to be honest, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's be honest. It's not, when he said worthy challenger, it's probably not going to talk to Reekado. It's probably going to be saying, Wiz, Burna, Wiz or David or Lamide. Those guys, probably. Those are probably the guys I'll be talking about. Maybe Techno. Maybe probably not even Techno. It's the only people that Burna wants to step into a ring with are the Allstars. Finish. Or maybe Sarkodie in Ghana, whoever. African Allstars. Is Reekado an Allstar? No, he's not. So, but there are three ways that Burna Boy could have handled that thing. Edit, one, which would have been bad. People would have trolled Reekado. Burna Boy staff should have trolled Reekado. Two, should he go into the DM and say, no, bro, no be your type? What do you want him to do? Three, he replied. And if he replied, what should he have replied? Okay, let's get it. Let's get it how? You are giving the wrong signal because my brand is going to say, oh, I want to accommodate anybody. It's not healthy. But should they have, you also have to understand how a lot of people are going to say, that was disrespectful to Reekado. It is disrespectful. Because you are looking down on somebody. You don't have to do that. You don't have to. But there is no good way to do this. There is no bad way to do it. It just is what it is.
Okay. So do you think Reekado Banks had the last laugh?
Nah, I don't think so. I think he did himself justice by creating this record this year. Let's look at it critically. Does Burna Boy have a record as big as Ozumba Mbadiwe in 2020? No. No. In 2021, sorry. Let's even be honest. Burna Boy's last hit, genuine hit in this country was probably 2019. What are the singles he dropped last year? Last year was on a Grammy run. And you have to understand, he dropped Money Play. Money Play had a lot of potential. Money Play that he dropped, I think, was December 2019. I don't many money play. Money play. That freestyle. But they didn't exactly promote it. Odogu, yeah, but it didn't exactly. It wasn't even on the album. Let's be honest with ourselves. And then the singles that he dropped, then he dropped Anytime I Go. That was not a hit record. He had a lot of. He had buzz. It wasn't exactly a hit record. Then the singles that he dropped after he dropped the album, bro, those ones were not even meant for us at all. That was some Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly thing that he was doing with the album. And shout out to him, he won the Grammy. And this year, It's Drop Kilometer, which I think is a fantastic record. And then Question, which I think is also a really good record. But they're not catching fire. Ozumba Mbadiwe is there. But can you actually say that Reekado Banks had the last laugh? Burna Boy is doing fantastic, bro. He also 17,000 in 2 locations, Sweden and the US. Just for Arena show in the US. So can you say that? I mean, everybody's winning. Everybody is winning. It's not about having the last laugh. But what I can say is, it's a good one for Reekado Banks in the sense that it wasn't a great time for him at the time last year. It wasn't a great time. So it's nice for him to push himself back into this conversation. It's amazing. And basically, that's what it is. That's what it is.
People with this part of this record use it.
Oh, absolutely. It's a master stroke. Bro, it's a master. There's a template for all those things. There's a template. Only a few things are more profitable than dissing a popular artist. Only a few things, from a marketing perspective. Only a few things. Let me give you a few examples. Pusha T dissed Drake on Infrared on Daytona. Was Pusha T's album going to be as big as a sensation as that? No. Daytona, fantastic album. It's going to go down as a classic. Drake diss or not. Classic. But without dissing Drake, and if Drake hadn't taken offense to it, do you think it would have been that big, been that big in conversation? I don't think so, bro. No, it's not I don't think so. It wouldn't have been. After Drake replied to him, Pusha T went on a new press run. Do you guys remember? He went on a new press run. He even went as far as Joe Budden's podcast. One, Davido's comeback single last year. You remember what it was? You remember what it was? That record went from a diss record to a record that was soundtracking protests. Let's go to Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj. Remy Ma came back from prison. Do you guys remember? Remy Ma came back from prison, released Shita, and went as far as winning best female hip hop at the BET Awards over Nicki Minaj. Even though Nicki Minaj was not having a great time at the time. Bro, this Vector and MI, do you know how huge that moment was for Nigerian hip hop? 2 years later, some people are still reacting to those records on YouTube. Some foreigners that stumbled on those records, they are reacting to them now. And they are doing fantastic numbers. A lot of those records are going to get to 1 million views. So you have to look at some of these things and say, from a marketing perspective, what Reekado Banks did on that record is a masterstroke. I had a problem with this guy last year. I didn't exactly address it. Now, bro, put it on a record. Anything you put on wax, it might go. Drake is saying niggas, I'm dissing 43, 44. When was dissing Kanye West? On whose record? Was it Lil Baby's record? I can't remember who he was exactly. I can't remember who he was. This year, before he dropped Certified Lover Boy. Fire. Kanye and the 3K. Kanye addressing Drake on the Leaked and the 3K song. Fire. There's a way these things go. Kanye's album the anticipation grew bigger because he had a beef with Drake. Bro, we can go through history like that. So with Reekado Banks, it's a masterstroke in terms of an idea. Even if you didn't mean it, you know about the best thing that he's doing right now is he has not addressed it. If you address it, the momentum stops. Don't address it. Don't say anything. Let people keep talking about it. The record is going to keep going by itself. And you are going to make a shit ton of money in December. That's it. Bro, let people draw their conclusion. Let people argue. Let people create conversation around it. That's the best thing. The records like this create conversation. And when things can create conversation and draw alliances.
So what's special about this record?
What's special about the record? Personally, it's not my biggest, it's not my favorite Reekado Banks song ever. But you can understand in terms of like an amapiano record. What makes a good single these days is the streaming era. Tons of singles dropped. The Friday that record dropped, tons of record dropped, tons of albums dropped, EPs dropped. But guess what? It probably made the most noise that day. You know why? Any part of a song that people can hold on to. Singles these days it can be about quality, overwhelming quality. But the moment people can remember something about the record, it's probably going to, you want to imprint on people's minds when you're dropping a single. Like a record that is chaotic, that I can't remember anything on it, is a problem. And even if I can remember something on it, if I can only hum it, it's still a problem. But if I can remember clear words and clear sounds, it's good. Plus that, I can understand why you can clearly see why people are gravitated towards the song. What P-Prime did on that beat is a madness. It's a madness. And then the hook itself, I'll be on Ozumba Mbadiwe, and then the timing of the release, and then finally, what he was saying on the record. What he was saying, the two sides of what he was saying, talking about protest culture, the anniversary of October 2020, and the fact that I could be talking to Burna Boy. Fantastic. And chances are this record was probably recorded a while ago. They just timing of the release was very key to this record. And then towards the end, what people did, and then where the drums came in, bruh, just sealed it for a lot of people.
What do you think this record is going to do for Reekado?
It's already done something for him with this EP. The EP was quite good. The first track, the R&B record on the EP, fantastic record. Then I think another hit might come from that EP in Lupita and Nyong'o. That could be another hit. It could be another hit record. The only problem I have with the like, you have a moment like this, you seal it comprehensively. You can understand why he didn't drop an EP. You can understand why he didn't drop an album, in the sense that you probably don't know how people are receiving Ozumba Mbadiwe. You don't want to dump a lot of songs on them that you might not be able to promote. So drop an EP. But at the same time, you are Reekado Banks, you can drop an album. Especially when you're on the kind of form that you were on that EP. You can drop an album, even if it's just 10 tracks. Now, Ozumba Mbadiwe is probably going to get bigger. Lupita is probably going to be a big song. And now you only have 5 songs. Could have been longer, that's all. But shout out to him, man. It's about to cash out in December. He's going to cash out a lot.
Okay. So is this a good time for Reekado Banks?
Absolutely. Couldn't have been a better time. It couldn't have been a better time. Well, shout out to Reekado Banks, man. Wish him good luck. I wish him good luck with Odogo as well. Let's hope he likes to party. And that's facts only.